of the now and how the left-wing media and pundit class would react if someone were to do the same to, oh, say, former President Barack Obama, or what about some member of the squad? Lawrence O'Donnell's so-called apology is just a deflection. Joining me for a reality check on all of this, our resident expert, Fox News media buzz host, Howie Kurtz, as well as attorney and political analyst, Erin Elmore. So thank you both for joining me. I wanted coverage on the media side and the legal side, so I'll go to the media side first. Howie, the president didn't lose his constitutional right. He's still an American citizen. The Trump Organization has rights, and so does Eric Trump. What do you say?
You're absolutely right, is what I say. But how defamation works? Defamation is the big umbrella, if you will. And under defamation, we have libel and slander. Libel written, slander spoken. So there you have it. And what these are torts. Not a pastry, but a civil wrong, meaning you have done something wrong and there are legal consequences. So if we're talking about slander here, which is spoken, there are basically four elements. One, it has to be distributed to a third party. We clearly have that because MSNBC. The other one is a false statement of fact said, purported to be true. We have that. The two tricky elements, one, we need that New York Times actual malice. And you said, hey, celebrities or famous people don't have a right to sue. Actually, they do. It just gives them a higher burden of proof, a higher standard. And that standard is that New York Times actual malice. So it means, hey, they said this, knew it was false, and said it anyway. That's the third element. The fourth element we have is damages. Here's where we get a little bit tricky. For those damages, we have to prove, or the Trump Organization or Eric Trump has to prove, that someone chose not to stay at a Trump hotel, buy a piece of Trump property, engage with Trump Organization in some way or another because of this story. And that's where it gets hard. But I do think that he should go through with the lawsuit, and the Trump Organization should go through with the lawsuit because it proves a point and it shows, hey, you can't just be this fake news media and say whatever you want and throw poorly vetted stories on the air claiming that they're true without consequences. Apologies aren't enough. Saying you're sorry isn't enough. These are poorly vetted stories. You have to have some credibility. You wonder why President Trump says fake news media. Here, this is exactly it on a silver platter.
All right, so Howie, on this, and I'm going to just bring our entire industry into this, bring in this case, and, you know, your point about damages aside for a moment, how do you get this case into the court? How do you prosecute it from your point of view?
Well, it wouldn't be a prosecution, technically speaking, because this wouldn't be criminal. It would be a civil matter. Having said that, both parties here have deep pockets, but getting it to a courtroom, that's the 11th hour. That's the second to last step. It would require a lot of discovery, meaning fact-finding and searching, and depositions where people are under oath having to give statements. This is nothing that would be resolved anytime soon and would drag on for years and years and years. And it would definitely cost a pretty penny, would make a lot of media headlines. But there would have to be sort of digging into, you know, whether or not different properties were doing poorly, and if you looked at their competitors and if they were gaining, you know, more real estate transactions. The damages part, as I said earlier, would make this pretty tricky. Could it be done? Yes. Would it be difficult? Absolutely. But going back to your area, Howie, is this really hurts the function of the media as a whole. People at home aren't following these stories and then doing deep dives into research and documentation. They believe these things to be fact. They believe these people are journalists, not opinion editors. And the problem is when a true story, something like a hurricane or real news comes along, they don't know what to believe anymore. What is fact and what is opinion? And I think that, aside from the legal realm, is quite more of a problem, if you will.
Howie, we've got a whole new world. I'm sorry, go ahead. You were going to say just briefly. Media, we've got you both here. Howie, always a pleasure to see you.
Good to see you, David.
All right, I watch it every Sunday. Make sure you do too. And Erin Elmore, attorney. By the way, Erin, if I ever need to go to court, I want you on my side.
I love that. Thank you.
Thank you both, guys. Great to have you here. And thanks for taking the time. All right, more